Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about the latest in the delay carnival that Judge Aileen Cannon is running in Mar-a-Lago. So, Trump and his co-defendant Walt Nauta have filed 12 motions for pretrial relief, basically to dismiss the case on 12 different grounds. And they've asked for evidentiary hearings or some sort of hearing in 10 of them. That's with her very leisurely pace of setting hearings a few weeks in advance and getting briefings, etc. That could take things through 2030 or so. Of those 12, she's just come out of the box now and said, let's have a hearing March 14th on 2 of these. Why these 2? Hard to say. How long? An entire day. Why an entire day for these 2? Even harder to say. Okay, Jack Smith has come in with a response saying they should not have hearings of any sort of and evidentiary hearings on any of these. We know, by the way, that evidentiary hearings, we've just seen a pretty good example in the Fulton County case of what a great tool they are to extend and delay and confuse things. Cannon has plucked 2 out of the 12, and they are both perplexing. And were it not she, and she didn't have this track record of doing very odd actions in with motions that you would think would get the back of the hand, you'd be, saying, "Huh, what's going on now? What's going on?" Judge Cannon's going on. All right, so the first one that we're going to hear 2 motions on the 14th. One is about a claim of immunity under the Presidential Records Act. Now, leave to the side that everything about immunity is going to be decided by the Supreme Court when it does. And why are we having a hearing? Why doesn't she just say, let's wait for that? Nevertheless, she is going to indulge the argument that the Presidential Records Act, something, Trump's favorite and completely irrelevant statute here, somehow provides immunity. And the argument is going to be something like, we've heard it already, the Presidential Records Act gave him the sole unsupervised authority to decide that a presidential record is a personal record. He did that in some unclear way toward the end of his administration. So all the papers that he took away, he has got no liability for. Completely spurious claim, and held it again and again. As Jack Smith comes in and says, he's not charged with, first of all, the Presidential Records Act is totally beside the point. It's and second, you could have a factual defense at trial in front of a jury, but there's no way if somehow he's aiming at having a conclusion that he did these things and so wasn't criminally culpable, that's not for her to decide. But in any event, it's not how it works, and it's not how it's charged. He's charged very clearly with retaining documents with certain markings as against repeated efforts to get them back, then with obstructing justice, lying in, the whole chain of events. And whether or not he has some colorable claim that he performed some hocus pocus, which he doesn't, on those documents before spiriting them away, just doesn't go to his legal guilt or not. So it's a, stone cold loser before you even begin it. That's in any other court. Will Judge Cannon, let this all kind of come in? How would it come in, by the way? I think it would have to be through Trump's testimony, and that would require cross-examination, and that wouldn't be very pretty. Of course, Cannon, does she somehow let him, submit an affidavit, or not even just make arguments and pleadings? That's a whole nother point of drama. We'll see what happens there on the 14th. But anyway, so that's the first thing we're going to spend our whole day on come the 14th. And then second, Trump, she's decided that Trump's vague motion to dismiss for vagueness the charges also merits half a day of hearing. As you know, this is one before her order came out that Smith gave very short shrift to. Said, look, in a paragraph, all of this has to do with his bizarro claim that he somehow held this clearance through one agency that post-dated his tenure. Kooky, doesn't hold up. And in any event, again, maybe a fact to present to the jury, maybe, though not true, something they could consider for the culpability of his state of mind. But vagueness, as in he doesn't understand or not able, it's a due process problem, which is what vagueness is, to even understand the charges of having kept documents marked classified, since he asserts he has this Q clearance. It's babble. And really, both of these they're not just babble legally, but they're babble on the facts, and which make them at best subject to try to sell in front of a jury, but not to have Cannon have a whack at. But she's going to have a whack at it. It's going to be next Thursday. And we'll see, does she thereafter order briefing, and this is one of 12 motions, and man, every new thing she does just it puts the whole clock on glacial Cannon time, which is, among other things, just a disservice to the country for what's a really cut and dried case. But we know Cannon time at this point, and it can't be a surprise, even as it continues to be a rankling and embittering disappointment that, it's just luck of the draw. Big luck for Trump that he has her on this, in some ways, easiest, most straightforward federal case. And she's his best horse in the country to ride to a last place finish many, 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 many furlongs behind the field. Talk to you later. Hi, everyone. Harry here with a really exciting announcement. Talking Feds is bringing our lively discussions with prominent national figures live to San Diego. Talking San Diego is a new series of conversations with some of the country's most interesting and bright minds from the worlds of politics, public policy, law, and more. Our first event is just around the corner. Join me for a conversation with Congressman Jamie Raskin on Monday, March 18th at 2 o'clock in downtown San Diego. You can click the description box below for more information on the event and the series, and find out how to purchase tickets, which are going fast. I can't wait to have some of our most well-known friends of the podcast join me in person before a live audience. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.